Hi, my name is Nick Kirpsack, and I'm going to be discussing with you today the symbolic interaction theory. And I do have PowerPoint here to help us throughout the presentation here. So first, to start off, the symbolic interaction theory is based on the idea of self-concept of an individual, or oneself, and how they want to represent themselves to society. And I think the main thing that I can connect my personal life with and how I can represent how I've experienced symbolic interaction theory is through music. I am a musician. I currently, actually last night I had a show at the Magic Tree, but I play an acoustic set, and I feel as if when I'm playing through a song or singing through a chorus, I am representing something. And so I definitely feel that music within this topic is a perfect example of how to represent how we see this in everyday lives. Now, the reason being is because I think when somebody sends out a message, I think the perfect example is the one country song where she dug her keys into his car of that pretty little souped-up four-wheel drive, something like that. Whether she means directly or indirectly, that message being the symbol that she is upset or she is angry with that gentleman about digging her keys into his car and ripping up his leather seats. Again, whether she does really do that or she doesn't, it represents her anger and it represents her discomfort towards a particular topic or a subject, or whether they had a bad breakup or he cheated on her. That really does represent an interaction that she is having. So what I did here is I did take a look at an article, and the article is exploring how users make sense of virtual worlds using the symbolic interaction theory. And this was actually a study, and what they wanted to do is they wanted to find if somebody is affected by the virtual world. So what they did is they wanted to see how people responded, or how people were emotionally affected or physically affected by how somebody responded. I know there are some things now that people are so concerned about how they portray themselves to society that a simple Instagram, if it doesn't get more than 50 likes within the first 10 minutes or first half hour, they feel as if they need to delete that picture. So what this did is to see how they wanted to react and how they were reacting to certain situations. And what they did find is people are highly affected. People who don't receive amount of likes, or a way an individual responds to their message or poem or quotes or their story, people are affected in positive and negative ways. I found that there on under Journal of Gaming and Virtual Worlds. It was their article, page 213, no, 297 to 311. So the other reason I wanted to pick this is I'm currently writing an album myself. I'm working on a few songs, whether it's going to be an EP or a couple singles. I'm working on my album myself, and I noticed that before I learned about this particular communication theory, I was unconsciously using the symbolic interaction theory to make my point, to represent how I'm feeling within my song. What I want people to feel, how I want them to feel it, whether it's a bubbly song or a sad song that kind of goes on, and you want them to feel those emotions as you're going through. And the one song that I'm working on now is entitled Open. And what that is the song represents a few things, but the main thing is realization. Realizing that what you have within yourself can never be taken away. And the characteristics that you have, whether it's your work ethic or whether it's your motivation or self-motivation, that because it's inside you, it'll never be taken away. And the reason it reflects back to open is because you need to open your eyes, you need to open your heart and open your mind, that things that you have within inside you will never be taken away. And that goes right back to education. Things that you've learned will never be taken away, and that I think that no matter how bad things get, you will always be able to collect yourself, take a deep breath, and move on to the next step. And representing that through music and through lyrics is a perfect example of the symbolic interaction theory. And presenting myself through my times of trouble or bad times, that I was able to move on and realize that what I have within inside me is never going to be taken away. So I believe that that is a perfect example of the symbolic interaction theory. And I thank you for your time. Thanks.